Lenovo's trim ThinkBook 13X is an enticing enough ultra-portable for home offices and small businesses, though ultimately it's less practical than the company's quite similar ThinkBook 13th Gen 2. Lenovo's ThinkBook line splits the difference between its stylish consumer IdeaPads and strictly business ThinkPads, offering small business entrepreneurs a splash of both worlds in an affordable package. The ThinkBook 13X, $1,221 as tested, and in its base model, is the sleekest example, a 13.3-inch ultra-portable that weighs a mere 2.5 pounds and is just half an inch thick. It's well-built and designed, with comfortable input devices, punchy speakers, and a productive 560 by 600 pixel touchscreen. But it falters in port selection, and its processing power, though peppy enough, is slightly below the class standard. That's why we prefer Lenovo's almost identical ThinkBook 13th Gen 2, which has neither of those issues and better battery life, though it's marginally heavier and thicker. Nevertheless, the ThinkBook 13X is still a respectable and much less expensive alternative to our current handful of Editor's Choice Award-winning ultraportables, including the Dell XPS 13 and the Razer Book 13. The good and bad news if you're in the market for a 13-inch laptop, a conventional clamshell, not a 2-in-1 convertible, is that there's a surplus of choices. In addition to the ThinkBook 13X reviewed here, options from Lenovo alone include the IdeaPad S540, the ThinkBook 13th Gen 2, the ThinkPad X13 Gen 2, and the ThinkPad L13 Gen 2. Other choices are the Asus ZenBook 13, Dell's Inspiron 13 5310, and the pricier XPS 13, the HP Pavilion Aero, and the 13.5-inch Microsoft Surface Laptop 4. The ThinkBook 13X sets itself apart by being one of the most portable in that group. At 0.5 by 11.7 by 8.2 inches, HWD, and just 2.5 pounds, it's thinner and lighter than the pricier XPS 13 Model 9310, 0.58 by 11.6 by 7.8 inches, 2.8 pounds. The Pavilion Aero is lighter, 2.2 pounds, but significantly thicker, 0.67 by 11.7 by 8.2 inches. The ThinkBook's silver outsides contrast nicely with its gray keyboard and black screen bezels. The ThinkBook logo on the aluminum lid gives it a sense of identity. Port selection on the ThinkBook 13X is limited to just 2 Thunderbolt 4 ports, one used by the AC adapter, and an audio jack on its left edge, that's all. Lenovo includes a USB Type-C to HDMI and C to VGA adapter, but no USB-C to USB-A adapter. Only the power button, which doubles as a fingerprint reader, occupies the right edge. A small backlit arrow next to the backspace key helps you find the button without craning your neck. Strangely, there's no security cable locking slot. An Intel AX201 card provides Wi-Fi 6 and Bluetooth 5 connectivity. By comparison, the ThinkBook 13th Gen 2 has a more practical selection of HDMI, Thunderbolt 4, and 2 USB Type-A ports without being much thicker, 0.59 versus 0.5 inch, or heavier, 2.78 versus 2.5 pounds. The ThinkBook 13X also has less processing power than the ThinkBook 13th Gen 2. Though both are based on the Intel Evo platform, the ThinkBook 13X uses 15W instead of 28W processors. The quad-core, 1.8 GHz, 4 GHz turbo, Core i5-1130G7 in our test unit isn't as high-clocked as the 2.4 GHz, 4.2 GHz turbo, Core i5-1135G7 standard in the ThinkBook 13th Gen 2. Despite that, I found it offered plenty of pep for most tasks. Benchmark results in a minute. Please subscribe to my channel for more videos.